AbaThembu King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo is today expected to pay a courtesy visit to former President Jacob Zuma at his homestead in Nkandla. The purpose of this visit, we're told, is to check on the former statesman who was, as you know, briefly imprisoned last year before being released on medical parole. The pair had a relationship described by many as frosty during Zuma's term of office, with King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo once implying that the former president was behind his arrest for assault and arson. Let's get you a sense of what else to think about. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi is our reporter watching this story. He's live to us now from Nkandla. And Linda, you know, it's at these moments that we're reminded of the comments by the king. I think it was in 2013, where he essentially suggested that Zuma, who was president at the time, had no respect for kings and ministers, saying he flushes them like condoms at some stage. I wonder how those comments are likely to feature in today's visit.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been many other comments that have been made by the AbaThembu King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo in relation to the president and how he has treated his chieftain or his royalty. In fact, you know, if you look at those particular remarks that were made, it was during a time when some of the members of the AbaThembu nation had written to the former president requesting him to, in some other way, revoke his reign from the throne, given the fact that they had cited issues around his behavior being that of unroyalty, being unroyal, saying that, they wanted him to vacate the throne, but we know that this, in fact, is a second visit to the former president, because at the time, in 2014, you'll remember, the AbaThembu King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo also visited the former president. Now, that was, of course, following those remarks and a number of others in public. He publicly lambasted the then President Jacob Zuma to apologize in 2014, offering a cow as a sign of an apology. But the former president, or the president then, being Jacob Zuma, also giving him a cow as a sign of acknowledgement, acknowledging his apology, and also saying that this would chart a way forward for them. So since then, you'll remember he was incarcerated in 2015, but shortly after his release, he did not visit the former president. The former president was incarcerated last year, as you rightfully put it, but he's since been at home, since he's been released on medical parole, and this is the first time that perhaps they'll be meeting in public to perhaps also catch up, because during the time when he offered his apology, you'll remember he even cited or said words like, he holds no grudges against the former president, even though he felt that the Zuma administration was really tough on him, or royalty that he reigned over. So it's expected then that that meeting will get underway here outside the Zuma household, or inside the Zuma household today.
Yeah. And Linda, you've been there for quite some time, since early this morning. I mean, what kind of mood are you getting from your vantage point? Are you getting a sense that there's going to be this meeting of these two important figures, a meeting which, of course, many people are reading all kinds of things into?
And you'll remember that the Nkandla household has also in recent times been known for hosting tea parties. And during the first time, you'll remember when the EFF came to visit the former president at his homestead, members of the media and everybody flocked here to kind of witness how that will play out. We're witnessing this morning a very quiet mood. I mean, if you look behind me, there isn't a sign that perhaps the king, AbaThembu King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo, will be arriving, but perhaps the sign then that will give us an indication of when he will arrive will be, of course, his entourage that he came with. He had an entourage back in 2014, so it's expected that he'll also be bringing his entourage to this particular meeting. But as things stand right now, things are still relatively quiet. Members of the media have also not arrived.
Mnisi, thanks very much indeed, watching that story for us as it develops in Nkandla in KZN.